Hey, what's up? Today I'm going to take you through my warm-up flow for climbing. We're going to spend about 10 minutes warming up off the wall before I hop on the wall. Today I plan to work on one of my growth zones, the cave. Climbing in the steeps requires a lot of foot tension. So today in my warm-up, I'm going to make sure that I warm up appropriately for those types of moves. Hair's back and we're ready to go. Warming up is we want to be connecting our movements with our breath. So not only am I moving my body, but I'm starting to deepen my breath, match it with my movements so that I can connect my mind to my body through my breath. And when I get on the wall, I'm able to use my breath as an extra secret weapon. Reaching from side to side, feeling the long line from the fingertips all the way down through. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back to center. I'm going to add some twists here because my spine is feeling tight today. One thing about our warm-up time is it is a moment to check in with our bodies and feel anything that might need a little extra attention or a little extra care. My shoulder is really good because I know I'm going to be locking off some of the moves I have to do. I really need to have power in my shoulders. Some circles, and I like to bend my arms here. Instead of having to hold my arms up, bending my arms allows me to really focus in on the shoulder joint. Getting warm, so I'm going to take this off. All right, I'm going to start with warming up my wrists. Really just feeling what my wrists feel like today, getting into all the corners by making circles. And as I'm circling my wrists, I can also drop back into my hips and warm those up too. Remembering to keep breathing here, not holding our breath, and making sure we're going in both directions. I climbed yesterday, so my hips are definitely feeling a little sore, so I want to make sure that I get them some nice, juicy warm up. Rolling over onto the tops of my hands, letting those fingers curl up and down. And then switching, flipping our hands backwards. I like to rotate between these two as I warm up my fingers in both directions, my wrist flexion in both directions. And then settling in, hands backwards, and moving in those circles again. This feels really good if you spend a lot of time typing or using your phone. Really opens up those wrists, gives us a little more flexibility and blood flow into those wrists. Shake it out. Inhale up, exhale down. And coming into child's pose for just a minute, really feeling those shoulders, maybe rocking from side to side. Inhale and exhale, sinking the chest low. And coming forward into a plank. We can stay on our knees or we can come on up. Just coming through our plank a couple times, rolling up, waking up that spine. Maybe adding a push-up here. And then tucking our toes. I'm focusing on warming up my ankles a little bit. Just doing some rocks back and forth on my toes. And then straightening our legs and coming into a downward dog. Settling in, maybe bending one knee and then the other. Shaking our head out. Maybe bending the elbows. Warming up those shoulders a little bit. Really just activating, feeling into all the edges of our body. Coming forward into a plank. and exhaling back. We're going to add a little bit of heat into this. So next time that we come forward, we're going to inhale, bring our knee to meet our elbow, and back, and then knee across and back, pushing back into downward dog. Coming forward, same thing, just on the other side, left knee to left elbow, left knee to right elbow. This is really great for that core stability and being able to match our hands to our feet like we often need to do in climbing. Moving into our three-legged dog, lifting that right leg, pointing and flexing the toe, really thinking about pushing our heel back. We're not thinking about opening here, rather, we're thinking about extending through our heel and the crown of our head like someone's pulling a string. And then bringing it through. We might need to walk it through. And coming up to a little lunge. Just going to warm up those hips a little bit. Our shoulders should be feeling nice and warm, nice and activated. We were just in that downward dog, pressing through our hands. Now we're rooting through our feet. In this pose, we're not just standing passively, we're pushing through our toes like we're trying to pull the mat apart. That is very similar to when we're climbing. We want to be pushing through our toes into the wall to maintain tension. Inhaling, settling in, and then pulling our right arm like we're shooting an arrow, twisting, coming back. Really focusing on twisting our upper body while our lower body stays straight. We should feel this across our left leg and the long line of our body. Staying here, reaching forward, reaching back. Again, we're getting into that hip. We're simulating like we're reaching for a hold that's maybe a little bit far away, and being able to activate through the feet and keep that stability on the mat. Coming back in and unwinding into our warrior two. Front foot facing forward, back foot in line with the back of our mat, and our heel should be about in the middle of our arch. We want to be able to sink down, bending our knee. Inhale, push up. And again, we're using our legs for this motion. We're sinking down, pushing the mat apart, and then inhaling, pushing through our front leg and reaching back. We're activating that entire chain from the tips of our toes to the tips of our fingers and coming back. Now we're gonna flow with it, inhaling, keeping that leg bent, reaching our arm back, reverse warrior, and inhaling, coming forward into our side angle. If your leg gets tired, you can shake it out a little bit, come back. Really focusing on feeling the stretch across this side of our body. And then coming back to center, stepping it back. And chaturanga, lower down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, pushing back to downward dog. I like to add maybe a little twists here. So taking one hand, looking under our shoulder to the left. And then left hand to right ankle. Maybe giving those hips a break, bending our knees, and straightening them. If you want to come down to a child's pose for a minute, we can. Maybe shake it out. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling much more open on this side than I was before. All right, moving into our next section, coming back to downward dog, lifting that left foot, pushing back, right? Long line from the heel all the way through the crown of our head. Feeling that lengthening, maybe point and flex the toe. And then bringing it forward, coming into our lunge. Again, setting up. Our legs are like they're on railroad tracks, parallel to each other, and we're pushing through our feet, really activating, feeling our toes, our big toe mound, pressing into the mat. as we settle in to our lunge. Inhale up, exhale, twist towards our leg, and like we're pulling back a bow to shoot, twisting our upper body. Coming back to center, dialing it down to our warrior two. And here, same thing. Inhale up, we're pressing through that front foot. Exhaling, sinking down, rooting through our feet. Settling in, maybe reaching forward, reaching back, imagining like we're reaching for a climbing hold. Whew, the quads are burning. Whew. And then inhale, reach up, reverse warrior. Exhale, coming down into our side angle, flowing through that a couple times. Keeping that front knee bent. And then coming back down, moving through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Whew. Shake it out a little bit. And then I like to add a little handstand hop here, if that's in your practice. Let ourselves hanging forward fold for a minute, opening up those hips, maybe rocking from side to side. And then again, adding some twists here to open up our chest and activate our spine. Inhaling, right arm up, reaching, maybe wiggling the fingers. Exhale down and switch. And maybe one knee, as we inhale up to the right, our left knee bends a little bit to allow us to really twist. And then when we switch to the other side, our right knee bends just a little bit. Sinking our hips down into a little yogi squat. Down. If you have a block, you can sit on that too, but we're gonna do a little more activation of opening up the hips and the spine. Inhaling, opening, looking out to the left, inhaling, and exhaling, open to the right. This both opens our spine and our hips and gives us a sense of stability as we press through our feet. Again, you can sit on a block if that's helpful. And then coming up to our wide leg and moving between some hip flows, so letting our knees come over, wide leg, our toes are pointing out towards the corners of our mats. And we're just getting a little flow in, pushing through our feet as we move. We're not just flinging our body, we're being aware of our feet pressing into the mat to help us move over and shift our weight, because that's what we do in climbing. And then sinking into our Cossack squat. So we're coming up on our heel, we're sinking over, and again, using our hands as an anchor point to help us as we shift our body over, pushing through the foot and coming over, our hands being that anchor point, similar to when we're climbing. And inhale up. And then the last piece that we're gonna do is a little bit of power and momentum. So we're gonna inhale up, exhale down into goddess pose, and then up onto our foot. This is both power and balance, activating stability from our hips and our feet. And coming back down. Maybe one last twist. Oh! Inhale up, back to center. Shake it out, dance it out, kick it out. Whew. I don't know about you, but my hips, shoulders, and spine feel a lot warmer and a lot more ready for some physical activity. And now it's time to hop on the wall. I hope that you enjoyed this warm up, and as always, keep making moves.